Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now we've got news out of Lenoir County where a man is now facing drug charges after a traffic stop. Police stopped 28-year-old Ryan Penny on East King Street yesterday. During the stop, police say they found methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. Now, Penny was arrested and charged with possession of methamphetamine and drug paraphernalia. He is also facing traffic violations. Now, Penny was booked in the Lenoir County Jail under a $3,000 bond. And now we want to check in with NBC's Peter Alexander, who has more on the ongoing war in Iran.
This morning, President Trump touting successes in the Iran war.
We're winning very decisively. We're way ahead of schedule.
As he and his advisors send conflicting messages about how long the war will last. Over the weekend, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told 60 Minutes.
This is only just the beginning.
And on Monday afternoon, the Department of Defense posted, quote, "We have only just begun to fight." But around the same time, the president told CBS News, "I think the war is very complete, pretty much." And soon thereafter said this.
I think you'll see it's going to be a short-term excursion.
Short-term. Short-term.
While also adding that the U.S. would not relent.
We've already won in many ways, but we haven't won enough.
Later in the day, he was asked whether the war was just beginning or complete.
Well, I think you could say it both. It's the beginning of building a new country, but they have no Navy, they have no Air Force.
Adding that Iran's leadership is largely gone.
We could call it a tremendous success right now as we leave here, I could call it, or we could go further, and we're going to go further.
President Trump is also facing scrutiny for a strike near an Iranian elementary school in the first hours of the war that killed more than 170 people, mostly children, according to Iranian officials. The Pentagon says it's investigating.
I just don't know enough about it. I think it's something that I was told is under investigation, but tomahawks are used by others. Whatever the report shows, I'm willing to live with that report.
But experts say the U.S. is the only military in the war that uses Tomahawk missiles and say it is likely an American Tomahawk missile hit the area near the school. The president yesterday also very conscious of the economic impact of the war, with oil prices climbing after restrictions in the key Strait of Hormuz, though the markets rallied last night.
We're also focused on keeping energy and oil flowing to the world.
Overnight, responding to the president's comments, Iran threatening to stop the flow of oil if attacks continue. The president later posting that if Iran's leaders did so, quote, "death, fire, and fury will rain upon them."
And again, that was Peter Alexander reporting. We now turn to your weather forecast. A little bit of cloud cover early on this morning. Had some fog on my drive into work today. Since then, fog has certainly lifted, but cloud cover remains over parts of eastern North Carolina. Right now, we've got 59-degree air temperatures coming in with a southerly wind at about 3 miles an hour. Dew points also at 59 degrees, which again explains why some of us woke up to a little bit of some fog earlier this morning. Right now in Greenville, 61 degrees, south-southwesterly wind at around 3 miles an hour. Overall, going to be another warm day. Right now, visibility lower for southern Wayne and most of Duplin County, but still not to the point where we're seeing major slowdowns on the roadways. And then those of you watching around Pelletier and Swansboro and Carteret-Onslow County border, understand again, you guys are dealing with a little bit of some visibility issues as well, as is Hatteras and Ocracoke. But the warmer we get, the faster that fog will burn off. Right now, upper 50s to low 60s, going to be turning into most likely the low 80s coming up later on this afternoon, thanks to what will end up being more of a southwesterly wind. Right now, winds are light enough to where we're seeing kind of variable wind direction. Right now, wind speeds between around 3 to 6 miles per hour. Not all that impressive, but as we make our way through today, again, anticipating getting back into the low 80s, 82 degrees by the time we reach 6 p.m. Now, we will cool off relatively quickly, getting down to 70 degrees by 10, likely waking up tomorrow morning in the low 60s. Could potentially see another round of maybe some light patchy fog early on tomorrow morning. But then we are going to continue to warm up as we make our way into the afternoon. By lunchtime, we're going to be seeing 80 degrees. That means we could be pushing the mid to possibly upper 80s for some areas. I think anywhere between around 84 to 87 degrees will be likely for daytime highs tomorrow afternoon. Today will be a touch cooler, but not by a whole lot. But speaking of cooler, Thursday and Friday, noticeably cooler. Here's why. We've got this cold front you're seeing further back towards the west. This is a picture by the time we get to Thursday at around 9 a.m. and that cold front bearing down on eastern North Carolina. Now, the good news, the area of low pressure right there is going to be moving north of Atlanta. That is important for us because if that low were to work its way south of Atlanta, around the mountains and then into eastern North Carolina, it would expose us to a greater chance of severe storms. But for now, because that low is again going to be moving over the mountains, it's highly likely that our exposure to severe weather is not going to be all that concerning. So, love saying that. In fact, the Storm Prediction Center not even giving us a 1 out of 5 chance. So things again are progressing well. Let's take a look at how that front actually moves across the east. There you can kind of see it becoming a little bit more stretched out and broken, not just with the rain showers over the Carolinas, but then you're also seeing more development further off the coast. That means the frontal energy is a little bit more spread out, and that is again going to limit how strong the storms along that frontal boundary will get. So good news in that regard. Our opportunities for severe weather at this point with this frontal system continue to get lower, and that is always encouraging. Now the front is expected to move off the coast by the time we get to around 8 to 9 p.m. On Thursday. After that, well, here's a look at what air temperatures are going to be doing. Dropping 73 degrees by Thursday, down to 62 by the time we get to Friday, and then we've got more showers coming in next week. Note your overnight lows next Tuesday and into Wednesday, likely seeing a potential frost, if not a full-on freeze across inland areas. So if you jump the gun, like yours truly, understand that you may need to cover up those plants to keep them alive as we get into next week. Again, 2 cold fronts will have a pretty big impact on your air temperatures, and that's again exactly what we're going to be seeing. Not just for Thursday and into Friday of this week, but again Monday into Tuesday of next week. Well, that's all we have time for today's 9 a.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday.
This hour of the WITN First Alert Desk is sponsored by ENC Pirate.